Good morning and welcome to Amsterdam. I flew in from New York City just this morning. It is a little before 10 a.m. on a very frigid, you can see I'm quite bundled up here, frigid February 18th, 2025. My flight landed at 7 this morning and I took a train into Amsterdam Central. After getting through passport control, the train ride was quick and efficient, and I was into the central train station by 8 a.m. Problem is, nothing really opens until 10. So I did a little walking tour by Rick Steves. He does these free audio tours. I took a few clips but wasn't really talking over them. I stopped in a coffee shop, Starbucks, because it's the only one I found, to warm up for a little bit because it is below freezing, 27 Fahrenheit, like -4 Celsius. I warmed up for about half an hour and planned what I wanted to do. Fighting two things today. One is the cold weather. It is not the most pleasant day to be walking around, but it is quite beautiful, blue, sunny skies. The other is jet lag, so didn't get much sleep obviously on the plane. It was a fairly short flight, just 6 hours, also quite bumpy. I decided to do the Amsterdam City card. I will be in Amsterdam for 5 days. So I did the 4-day city card. I think one of the days, last day, I'm going to do somewhere outside of the city. Take a bus or public transportation. But did the city card. So with this Amsterdam City card, you get entrance to quite a lot of museums all throughout the city. So the first one I'm going to is right here, the Grochten Museum, which is a museum of canals. We'll see how it goes. The city card gets you into many of the museums included. They say free, but you have to pay for the city card. However, the two big ones, the Van Gogh Museum and the Anne Frank House, are not included. I booked the Anne Frank House for noon, which is 2 hours from now, so I've got 2 hours, and today feels like a good day to do museums to try to stay out of the cold. Looks like I'm going to luck out with the weather throughout the rest of the trip, because today is by far the coldest day. Tomorrow is also chilly, but then it gets up to quite pleasant temperatures later in the week. So good days to be going out and about. So today is museums. The museums all, however, don't really open till 10 a.m. So I was killing some time, but it is almost 10 now, so I'm going to go over and see if I can get in to the Canal Museum. There's also a few others right nearby, so we'll see how it goes. Might do one of those canal boat tours at some point, but probably on a day when it's a little bit warmer. It is quite cold right now. little change of plans there. The Canal Museum store was still locked when I tried it. There's another museum just around the corner about photography, so I went over there to check it out. I wasn't really thinking I was going to do that one, but it was a good spot to spend 20 minutes. I'm not a huge art museum fan. It was a little bit different. One, it's in... The cool spot part was it's in two of these old houses along a canal houses, whatever they call them, that kind of then link together at the top. So you get to see the inside of one of the houses. One of the houses is totally devoted to these photographs from Paris in the early 1900s. That half I liked quite a bit, though I think I did it wrong. I think you're supposed to start on the top floor and work your way down, because I was going backwards in time. The top floor was 1900, the bottom floors were like 1906, but the photographs are pretty cool. The other half was not photography at all, but some random artist's stuff. Didn't particularly care for that half, but walking through and seeing like the back into the like courtyard area behind the houses, decent enough. I don't think I would personally pay admission just to go into that museum, but it was totally included with the city card, so worth a stop. I'm now walking back to the Canal Museum, and hopefully this time the door is unlocked. The Canal Museum is actually quite good. It is a multimedia kind of display. You go from like about 4 different rooms, maybe 5, where there are different displays that teach you about how the canals were built, why they were built, and so on. It's not a very large museum, but it is focused on one thing, trying to explain to you why Amsterdam is the city of canals. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I was in there for about the 45 minutes that was expected. The show itself is maybe half an hour. They run it every so often, I guess every 15-20 minutes or something. You start and then you go room to room. They give you a little handheld audio guide in your language of your choosing. You go into the room, you scan it. After a few moments, everybody else who's in there has scanned theirs. It'll start up. Then you move to the next room, and the next room, and so on. When you are done, there is a little art gallery that has some modern paintings and such, canal focused. That was less my cup of tea, but the main attraction was quite good. I am now making my way to the Anne Frank house. This is not part of the Amsterdam card. You have to buy the admission separately. I don't know if on a February day like today, if it is selling out, but they open up blocks of tickets, I want to say 6 weeks in advance, 2 months in advance, something like that. I got my ticket the day the block became available. I was probably a little unnecessarily early, but I didn't want to have a chance of missing it. I've only been in Amsterdam a couple hours now, and I'm finding the mixture of bikes coming at you from all sorts of different angles and cars a little bit annoying. I knew coming in that bikes were going to be trouble, but I thought Amsterdam was much less cars. I think they let more cars on the streets in the morning. I guess there's always cars on this particular street, but where I was walking before, supposedly pedestrian only, but there were cars around. But I guess it was because it was early. Anyway, the bikes. It's pretty cool that it's such a bike-friendly city, but it's a lot. That's the Anne Frank house down there, I think.
Oh, you're not going to ask them to get tickets to be put on.
That is going to do it for this first video of walking around Amsterdam for the first day in a chilly weather and hitting up a few museums. So the Anne Frank Museum does not allow photography or filming inside. It is a very powerful experience. It takes about an hour to go through. There is an audio guide that they give you with your admission. And of course a variety of languages. As you go room to room, there's little places you can scan it to learn more about what's in that room. All told, I was in there for probably about an hour, maybe a little bit less. I did the entire audio guide, but I did not read every last piece of information that I could have. I could see you easily spending maybe double that if you actually read every little thing. It was somewhat crowded, and they had sold out for today. I do not know when they sold out. It did not say that. It just said tickets are no longer available, and they redirected you to the website. So if this is something you're interested in doing, it's definitely the kind of thing you want to get tickets in advance. I would imagine during peak tourist season, you really would want to hit that right when they open up, which I believe, again, was 6 weeks, might have been 8 weeks, in advance. Right across the street from the Anne Frank house, there is this thing called the Tulip Museum. I popped over there since it was included in the Amsterdam City card. It is rather tiny. The ground level floor is basically a tulip gift shop. Then downstairs is a little museum with some information about the tulips. It's interesting. I certainly would not pay, I think €7 is what they were asking. I don't think I would pay €7 to go to it, because I was in there for maybe 10-15 minutes. But it was interesting to learn about why the Netherlands, where the tulip is not native, became the tulip central. If you think of tulips, you probably think of the Netherlands, even though they are not native to this area. So it was interesting, but easily skippable. If you got the city card and you're at the Anne Frank house, definitely worth the 15-20 minute pop-in, but otherwise not so much. So now I am walking my way to my hotel. Decided to walk rather than take transport. One, to keep myself awake. The jet lag is setting in. And two, to see a different part of the city. So I believe that canal right over there is kind of like the dividing line between the old city and the, well, newer city. Not 100% on that. My hotel is in the newer part of the city. I'm staying at a Holiday Inn right by the Sloterdijk, not sure I'm pronouncing that right, train station. I have the IHG credit card now, and when you book with points, your 4th night is free, and I am staying 5 nights, so basically I pay for 4, get 5 nights. And prices are pretty good at this time of year there, regardless. So it's definitely a cheaper option. Certainly not the cheapest you could find. So I'm making my way over there. I will be getting in. Check-in's at 4. I'll probably make it over there sometime around 3. Hope they're going to be ready. I am looking for a place to stop and grab lunch because I am hungry, but I didn't want to stop at a touristy area, which is where I was before that. And now I got over here and it's just all residential the way it looks. Anyway, hoping to run into something, but it is a bit of a walk right now. Probably about an hour walk to get there. Not expecting to do anything in that intervening time besides just slowly meander my way over there. So first impressions of Amsterdam, very cool. Knew I was going to like the city. The weather is warming up. It's now above freezing, but not by much. Looking forward to later this week when the temperature is supposed to hit the 50s and one day even says 60. So that should be much better. Anyway, that is all from Amsterdam. First day of walking around, more or less done. At least the interesting part of the day is done. Thank you and goodbye.